Hi everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to my first episode of my Business My Way show that I decided to do. It's time to do something so I could um, create more visibility for myself and for my business. So I'm not really sure how it's gonna go, but here it is. So that I called my first episode My Business My Way. And what I mean about that, because sometimes when you say my, it's almost like my way or highway. It's the expression that it's we gonna do this way or no any other way. But I would like to talk about something a little bit more different than that. Because in the first my way or highway, there is this kind of aggression and willingness to be right. So we are going to do this way and you don't even consider any other possibilities. But what I mean for my business my way is basically creating business that works for me. Not creating business because someone else tells me to do that, but because I want to do this way. And it, like, what do I mean by that? Like, for example, if you work, like I work in my business is about online businesses. It sounds kind of weird, but I actually help other online businesses to create systems, to create with different ideas, with product creation, with pretty much anything that has to do with having business online. So I could do it many ways. Like I could have in my office, this is a thing I could easily do from home or from a coffee shop or library or anywhere. So this kind of works for me because I don't like being in the same place every day, every single day, like 24/7. So I used to work in the office many years ago, and I hated it. It honestly, it was like 9 to 5. It didn't work for me. Even though I actually enjoy doing what I love, I actually like doing, because I'm actually still kind of doing the same thing I was doing in the office. Only thing that going to the same place, meeting the same people, having structured hours didn't work for me. Because I'm one of the people who likes to wake up late, like 9ish, 10ish, and work till midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m. You can't do that in the office. And during the day, I like to run my errands. I like to go visit my parents, I like to go out shopping, I like to do whatever else I like to do. And even though I usually take my laptop with me so I can actually sit in a coffee shop and do work there because the environment kind of inspires me. So what it is for you? What is this? How the business work for you? Like you basically can create business from anything. It's just only thing that whether it works for you. For example, my dad, he worked from dusk till dawn. I didn't really see him much, and he never really, and he always usually complained about the money, that there is no money, and I don't know whether that worked for him or didn't work for him. I only know that he actually loved what he was doing. But whether these hours worked for him or didn't work, I don't know. But I know that one of the things, one of the points of view, what he lived by was that business and money is more important than anything else. No, his point of view was that you have to take care of the family. And how you take care of the family? You provide money. And because he never had this sense of that we have enough, so now I'm gonna cut down with hours. He actually just kept working dusk till dawn. Every I don't know how long. I think he created his business when the Soviet Union collapsed. It was about 1990. That's where he started his business. And he actually never had a day like time off he always had when he was physically ill, like flu or cold. But he never actually taken holiday, or he never actually went abroad. I love traveling. I actually lived in Portugal for 6 months and in India for 5 months. And before that, I lived in UK for 9 years. And I loved that kind of lifestyle. And especially I didn't have a home, like my own home at the time. It was easy for me. It was easier for me to actually go to different country, just stay there, take my laptop with me, take my business with me, and work there. And I loved it. And now when I have my own home, I do more trips, but they are shorter, like a couple weeks or I might just check what time is it? Oh, I'm talking only for 5 minutes. Okay, cool. And I've got half an hour for this. So what does work for you? I know that some people. I know one friend of mine who is he has multiple businesses, and he does it the same way I do. He travels from one country to another country, but he needs his own office space. He needs the room, clean, decluttered room with clear desk. Everything is in the order, and he can do business that way. So when he visited me, he couldn't do business here because the way I work doesn't work for him. So I'm an artist as well, so I have loads of like art supplies for my painting, arts and crafts, and all that kind of stuff. I like all kind of different boards and magnets and pens and brushes. So I kind of have like chaos in my place, but the chaos works for me. The same way the coffee shop, working in a coffee shop works for me. So what works for you? Like, this is what I mean by having business my way. Like I do, because most of my clients are in America and Canada. So, and I'm myself in Eastern Europe. So there is like a big difference in a time-wise. Like, let's say it's 5 p.m. in the afternoon for me, almost evening, and like West Coast of America is just waking up. So for me, working in evenings works for me because I'm kind of owl. I like my best ideas usually comes in evenings, and I usually get fired up. And the mornings is not really easy for me. I'm not grumpy in the mornings, but I like to do my own stuff. Start the day like slowly, tidy up, wash my dishes, go outside. I live on the countryside, so I do some work outside. Moment. So yeah. So what does work mean? What does business your way means to you? What is it that like if you are in business right now and you're not quite satisfied with it, so just note down on the paper, what does it mean to work your way? What is it that you would like to have, like the way you do business right now? Like what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and what would it take to change it and choose something different? Like you might think, oh, that's crazy, Liga. What the hell are you talking about? It's not like I'm doing this and this, and I can't do it any other way. Well, let me tell you something. I've been working with in personal development industry. Not that I've been working it. It's most of my clients are from personal development industry, and I've been doing like classes and reading books since like probably 2007, like really actively. But before that, I used to study psychology. And let me tell you, everything is possible to change. You just have to be willing to change it. You have to be willing to actually look at these things and ask the questions. asking the questions comes from tools from organization that's called Access Consciousness, and they one of the primary tools is living in a question. So you basically, when you start look at the things and let's say something doesn't work for you in a business, I'm not sure really. Like for example for me, like what would it be? I'm not really sure. Like let's say that working hours stopped working for me, like working late. And one day I decide that it doesn't work for me anymore. So what would I do is I would start looking at what would work instead of that. Like whether those are the mornings or whether those are the daytime or afternoons. And even though if it doesn't seems like easy at the first, because thinking, oh, how can I change from being an owl to being what the thing that wakes up early? Early bird? I honestly forgot. Let's say early bird. And so I would have to actually look at that. Like, what would it take for me to actually go from working at nights, evenings, to working during the day? And what would actually work? Like I work kind of scattered, like my work is scattered. And I can work 1 hour during lunchtime, 1 hour in the evening, and 2-3 hours in very late in the evening. And I can do like what I like about my job that as well, that I can do like 20 minutes. And 20 minutes here and there. But let's say at the moment I'm single and I don't have children. So I pretty much can organize my day. So let's say suddenly I have a child. Like children have this their own schedule. So basically during the day they are at school if they are older children. And if it's a newborn baby, they have the time when they sleep and the time when they wake up. So I would basically have to, instead of like fighting that my child doesn't let me work in evenings anymore, I will have to look at the ways to work while my child is at school or while my child is awake if it's the new baby. So instead of like going, oh, this doesn't work for me, so I'm gonna just keep suffering. Well, you can't keep suffering, but does it work for you? Does suffering work for you? It doesn't work for me. And I used to judge myself about that. I used to judge myself about making life easy for me. Especially I live in Latvia, where lots of people, like our history is basically always been suppressed by some other nation. Whether it's Russian, Germany, Swedish, Polish, Lithuanians, you name it, anything goes. So basically, we've been a free country since 1990, but the change doesn't happen going from suppressed person to like finally free and happy and flourished. Doesn't happen in few decades. So people in Latvia think they have to struggle and everything has to be hard. So does my parents. I live in like now we have winter, and I have my central heating. Like before I got the central heating in my house, I used to have a wood burner. So basically I had to bring wood inside the house and fire the wood burner every day. So basically I wake up in the morning and it's cold inside. Sometimes you can even see the breath. And it didn't work for me at all. And so I got the central heating. So it means like I just put some pellets in like once a week in the bucket, and it's warm throughout the day and night. And a couple of days ago, my dad helped me to bring 1 ton of the pellets so because I ran out of them, and because I don't have a transportation to have whole like pallet in one go, so we have to basically put bags from one place to another twice. We have to put on the van and we have to take out of the van. And while I was doing it, I was talking to my dad. What would it make it actually easier to ask someone to actually, and as well, we have lots of plastic bags left over after that, because each pallet comes in 15 kilograms big packs. So it means from every month you kind of have about 40 plastic bags, which are like quite big. And especially if it's not just me, it's everyone who uses them. So I kind of was asking him for the options to reduce the plastic and to make it easier for the pallets to go into the like storage where the heater is the main thing. And he just told me, like, you already have a heating system where you have to only put stuff once a week. Why do you want to make it even easier than that? And so my dad is used to work like a horse. Like, he works and works and works. So to have an easy life is not for him. So I would like to actually, and for me it's like I'm kind of lazy. I always looking for easy way to make things. Like, for example, if I'm creating systems for my clients or for myself, I make it as easy as possible for people to get on, to pay for the class, to pay for the course, go through the system and actually get what they desire. So that works for me, because the easier it is, the better for me. And so for you as well, I invite you to look at all these places where it's hard for you, and what would it take it to make easier for you. Because if you wanna do business, you don't want to have a business that's takes up most of your time and most of your energy. Like, maybe it works for you, maybe it doesn't, but it definitely doesn't work for me. So I'm always looking for the ways how I can improve my own like a work environment, to make it easier, faster, so I don't have to work as much. Well, I kind of like what I do, but if I make it more efficient and quicker, I kind of can do more of that. And I want my clients to get on in my classes easier and quicker, and without like long, like for example when they sign up from landing page to go straight to the email, they get all the information, they're happy. It gets added to their Google Calendar, so they know what time exactly they're going to show up. Send them a reminder email, and so on. But I've seen people who does opposite. Their kind of chain of how people get to the call is long, complicated, and sometimes it's frustrating. I really want to get, let's say, in the program, and it's like one call, and you shouldn't work a lot to put a one call up. If it's like a 6 months program, I can understand that. But if it's a like 1 hour call, why would you wanna work on it like 10 hours just to set it up and manage the system later on? So this is what I want you to look at. What does business your way means to you? Not it because and as well, other thing I wanted to mention is that we get bombarded every single day these days with you have to do it this way, then you're gonna become a millionaire. Follow my steps, like how I became millionaire, and you're gonna become millionaire the same way. But it didn't work for me. I could follow those steps, and after like step 5, I got bored with it. Just doing something for the sake of doing it didn't work for me. I can understand maybe, yeah, you got that way, a millionaire. But for me, it's like, yeah, I want to become a millionaire, but at the same time, I want to enjoy what I'm doing. Even just because I have to work from dusk till dawn, a couple days a week, it doesn't mean that I have to suffer through it. And so basically, you have to find the way that you enjoy the journey and the destination, and then another journey, and then another destination, instead of like having a destination, you reach it, and then because you never enjoyed really getting there, you're probably not gonna enjoy the destination either. Just check how much time is. 20 minutes, 10 more minutes. So yeah, so what does it work for you in your business? What and I want to maybe next episode in a week I'm gonna talk about success, but that's kind of next step. But today, what else? Yeah, I invite you to look at what does business mean to you your way, and not fight against what other people say to be. Just hear them out and then ask yourself, does it work for me? Would it create more for me? Would it create more for me in my business? Would I actually create what I desire to create with this? Instead of like, no, I want to do this way. Like I've had people, like sometimes I work on websites and stuff. So people say, I want this on my website and no any other way. Even though it's actually not too complicated to set up, but it first of all doesn't look good, it doesn't do what it's supposed to do, and the maintenance of it is just doesn't work. Like for me it wouldn't work. I know that some people like complexity and they think that's quite important. So yeah, just look at, like I have done multiple websites for myself. And sometimes I just want to create like a crazy, like a colors there and there, like a background, this feature and this feature there. So it's like, you know, it's almost like you walk in the arcades of where they put like gaming. So there's lights, there is noise, there is, so basically, but what I noticed that in the long term it doesn't work. I kind of get bored with it. Because when you walk in a toy shop, it's so excited, you can do this and you get this and this and this, but you don't want to spend there most of your time. So I started actually ask, what do I want my website to do, and what's the easiest way to get there, and just put your own touch, put your own branding, but don't make it because. Let's say I've read online about this woman who has everything pink. She basically likes pink, so she created everything is pink. Like her house is literally, I'm not sure whether it's outside is pink, but inside there is no different color at all. Everything is pink. So it's almost like, just because I like pink, so I'm gonna make everything pink. You are actually, because there are only like a certain amount of people who is gonna like pink, and so you're kind of excluding everyone else, and there are lots of people who don't like pink. So, and if you can go from the point of view, okay, if they don't like pink, they can sod off, I don't need them. But at the same time, you're actually kind of limiting how many people you can reach to. And your message might be useful to those people who hate pink. So just because you like pink doesn't mean you have to go overboard with it. So I think I'm gonna end here today. And thank you very much who is listening to it. I hope anyone is listening to it. And if you wanna do, I have another show starting in 5 minutes in online, in a Facebook group called Online Business Can It Be That Easy, where I'm gonna be talking about how to set up things. Like this show is about how to do business my way. and I'm going to be talking all different kind of topics. And in the group, I'm going to be covering like a technical things, like let's say today's topic is going to be how to actually, what you need to set up weekly show, which is kind of easy. Like you just get on the Facebook Live and just do it. But there are different options if you want to create something else as well. So cool. Thank you very much. So I invite you to look at what this business your way is for you. Like make a list of where it is already and where it is you would like to have something different. I'm actually going to look at that as well myself, because there are some things that I would like to, it kind of worked for me until now, but now I want to change something with it. And as well, don't be one of those people who in 100 years still do the same business the same way as they've been doing for the 100 years. Be someone who changes with the time and change the business with the time. Thank you very much, and I hope to see you soon again. Bye bye.